from the Black Swan Media Studios, deep inside a secret underground bunker. We're speaking to freedom-loving patriots from all around the country and the world. Welcome to the Resistance. This is John Crump, live.
Yes, it is me, and we are back for another episode of John Crump Live, the last episode of the week, because it is Thursday. We have an action-packed show for you today. We also have an action-packed show for you next week. We are brought to you by Tusk. Tusk is a cryptocurrency focused on the firearms market.
Proudly sponsored by TUSC, the only cryptocurrency designed with the firearms market in mind, with 3-second processing times. It's the fastest cryptocurrency on the planet. With lower transaction fees than traditional credit cards. It's perfect for your e-commerce needs. For gun guys, by gun guys. Visit TUSC.network for more information and join the digital revolution.
And we are also brought to you by Black Swan Tactical. Black Swan Tactical is my t-shirt shop where you can get really cool shirts, hats, mugs, like this Flying Rich patch that was upside down. There it goes. Right away. Or this one also. We have a ton of patches, shirts, mugs, and everything else for your need. Check out blackswantactical.com.
Black Swan Tactical, your number one source for 2A streetwear. With shirts, mugs, hats, patches, flags, and more. There's always something to help you rep the 2A community. All proceeds go back into our projects. Viewers and listeners can take an additional 10% off with code CRUMPY. Unapologetically pro-gun, pro-liberty, and pro-freedom gear for the front lines of the culture war.
And our title sponsor, of course, is JSD Supply, where you can get all your gun building needs at JSD Supply. They are the December title sponsor. Okay, we can also, if you want to support the channel, you can always go to patreon.com/John Crump. With that said, let me go ahead and bring on my co-host. He is the man that crashes more planes than anyone else I've ever met in my life. He crashes more planes than he lands. His name is Flying Rich. He's the guy.
Hi, John.
He's the guy. He's the guy that took flying lessons and said, don't worry about teaching me how to land. I'll just crash.
Yeah, Wrong Way Corrigan was my flight instructor.
There you go. And
look, Ben will testify. Any landing you can walk away from is a good one. Any landing you can reuse the airplane is a great one. I've had two good landings.
So you've had a lot of good landings and no great landings.
Yes.
And here he is, Ben of Tier 1 Kinetics. And if you guys are wondering about the thumbnail, it's I chronographed a round and then weed the bullet and all that other good stuff to figure out exactly what the kinetic energy is, and I did all the
John Math geeked out
in the thumbnail.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so we kind of came up with that as we're a big time support element essentially for the Tier 1 community for quite some time. So the kinetics part is essentially one of the defining moments in any kind of combat scenario where you're delivering kinetics on the battlefield. So that's kind of where those two things came from. And then we're just playing around with guns and stuff and trying to keep ourselves out of trouble, All
right. So what have you been up to since the last time we talked?
I've been wearing these really cool shirts that say Team Uncool and Anti-Influencers that I got from some some podcast host, but I've been proudly wearing them at the gym. And
Shit, I have no idea where you got those from.
But yeah, so that's new. Still playing around with website stuff and getting electrons to talk to each other. So pretty much just big time nerd stuff there. And then, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Taking up all my time between that and trying to stay on top of things physically and competing with some of the local guys. So we're competing on a on a weekly basis now with or competing and training with a bunch of other local companies, including Dyna Guns. There's reps from like, well, not reps, but like this is a non-formal event, but like there's people from like Silencer Co. and then Flux Defense shows up every once in a while. I don't know if you're familiar with them or not. And then, yeah, it's just a good group, bunch of tactical games and competitors, people that are like tactical trainers at Fieldcraft Survival, and then, you know, general cool professionals that are useful, have like useful skills like in the medical or whatever industry. So, but what about you guys? What's going on over there?
Rehabbing my shoulder.
Huh?
No.
Rehabbing my shoulder.
Oh yeah? What's going on with it?
Sprained AC joint.
Yeah.
If you don't move, you don't sprain anything. So that's my philosophy.
Yeah, it's just like everything else. Like if you never move, you'll never risk anything, and you'll never get hurt.
But you never accomplished anything too.
Oh, hey, how about that? Yeah, that's how that works.
So Ben, are you a tech geek?
I'm becoming more. Well, yeah, because I mean, honestly, like, you know, you go all the way to, you know, through the Blackhawk course, and you know, flying the Mike model was all digital, is all FADEC type stuff, and so I mean, it was all computers talking to each other, and you know, network cables and all that kind of crap, and then you got satellite and all that kind of weirdness and comms and all that stuff, and then when I did my other job, that was all computer like centric. So I mean, I had like 9 42-inch TFT displays that I was flying an airplane with. Two of them were touchscreen, and then the normal control interface that you'd find in a cockpit. So that was super nerdy. And then I was really good friends with our IT guy over there too, that did all the security token validation stuff. So I don't know. It just seems like there's always like just one person that actually knows what the hell they're talking about when it comes to like cybersecurity. So I signed up for a 6-month cybersecurity boot camp, which gets me a certified ethical hacking certificate at the end of the course in like 6 months. So yeah, so that's kind of like the direction I'm going, in addition to just doing all my other nerdy stuff that I normally do anyway with guns and stuff.
Yeah, CEH.
So,
We're not talking about tech today. We did a whole episode on tech yesterday, Rich.
Yeah, but you did A&P work on the Blackhawk, or?
No, I was a pilot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the only A&P stuff that I ever did was on the airplane. So when I got the repairman certificate, I maintained that airplane for 11 years. So.
Okay, I got a question for you, Ben. Have you ever shot someone without pointing a gun at them? And have you ever shot someone without pulling the trigger? Just wondering. Just asking for a friend.
Must have been a ghost gun.
So that's like a really complicated answer. So I don't think there's really a best way to go about this than just going ahead with the no. No, I have not either. So there's I've been in an important part of the chain of events that actually leads to that, but
I don't think Ben knows what you're saying. Do you know what we're referring to?
No, maybe not.
Okay, so let me. You're giving a complex answer, trying to be truthful. Alec Baldwin shot somebody on the set of Rust.
Yeah.
He has an interview with Snuffleupagus saying that he didn't point the gun or pull the trigger.
Yeah, I saw that. What an idiot. Yeah, that's right. Yes, I have not. Yes, sorry. No, I have not Baldwined anybody ever where I did not pull the trigger, but somehow the gun went off while I was pointing at somebody.
And especially a double action Colt.
Well, I think it was like, I don't know. Have you ever seen the movie Wanted? It's a great movie, by the way.
No,
Where they
I don't
curve
think
the
I've seen it.
bullets.
Oh, yeah, no, I definitely didn't see that.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened.
But you
The
think that's what
bullet
happened?
just curved.
I, boy, I don't know if I can really say what I think right now.
He should be in jail right now. Like that's what he should be. He should be in jail right now. Or
Oh,
like,
I don't think he should be in jail.
you don't think so?
No, I don't think he should be in jail.
So if you shot somebody by accident, like if I shot one of the two people by accident, actually I had a gun pointed at me yesterday. So funny when we were out training. So anyway, so let's say I got shot yesterday by one of the people that I went shooting with, and so you think that person would not be in jail right now?
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Do you think Alec Baldwin never saw the inside of any police station this entire time?
Oh, I bet they didn't even take him down and photograph him.
Right.
I bet they had like the chief of the police or the captain or whatever sergeant come down, like interview him on a couch and take a statement with his lawyer present. I'm totally certain. And realistically, what we're talking about is a class system, and the reason I'm saying he shouldn't be in jail because I guess all of the things I shouldn't say on public.
Okay.
Well, okay then. No, I just thought it was dumb for him to say, I didn't point the gun at anyone.
I'll tell you, I feel very sorry. And actually, John wrote a great article on this, highlighting the victims and their lives because nobody knows their names or remembers who they are. It's very dishonorable on him to say something like this after having a tragic accident. I'm 100% certain he had no intent of injuring anyone.
Sure. Yeah, but like when people get run over by a car, it's still involuntary manslaughter.
Yes, I fully agree with that. But after the statement, I can't tell you what I think should happen to this person.
George Clooney went after him.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that.
In the first, my first opinion is all of these pussies in the media that hate guns, listen, make all of these movies where the body count is in the triple digits.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
I'm like, well, look, I don't
Hey,
like
Rich, you're
that.
roboting, man. Your internet sucks. He's using a potato as a modem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see my pictures really good.
He builds his own networks. Leave him alone, John.
Yeah, is it better if I'm audio only?
Yeah, probably.
So
better for the audience, so they don't have to.
Oh, how, man? How, dude?
Joking.
Don't forget, I'm going to be there in a week or two.
Oh.
So when you give a ridiculous answer like Alec Baldwin, I can't begin to tell you what should happen to that person. I'll tell you over beer in person, but I don't want to say it on the internet. I think
he never touched the trigger. It just went off.
I think the right answer
what it is, Rich,
is it's a tragic, horrible thing that happened. The person on the set lost her life, and just because it's going to be an open lawsuit, that's all I can say. I think that's the right statement, or something similar to that.
Yeah. It'd be kind of weird to like talk about that. That's going to definitely come up in the trial for sure. I'd be like, well, I thought you said this, so.
I do have a non-gun related question for you, Ben.
Cool.
It's a helicopter question.
Okay.
They did a flyover. I'm not sure if you saw it, but they did a flyover in the game between Tennessee Titans and New Orleans Saints.
I didn't see that one.
Yes, there's an investigation because I guess they violated some rules because they flew extremely too low.
Huh. Yeah, that sounds like fun. I don't
Yeah,
know.
like,
So helicopters. So there's a rule that applies to helicopters that doesn't apply to airplanes, which is you can, you know, you can fly as close as you want to property or structures or people as long as reasonable assurance is given that a safe landing can be made in a case of an engine failure. So like I don't know what that really means. Sort of depends. I mean, if it's a helicopter, I mean that's how medevac helicopters like get in and out of like traffic accidents and stuff.
Mhm.
So they don't have that like minimum separation from objects and people on the ground that airplanes do for because they got to land, you know. So yeah, so I don't know like what too low really means in a helicopter because
oh, this is really, really low.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Like as long as you have an acceptable place to land, like it doesn't matter. Like, and that means like you can land it in the middle of a football field. You can land it in a
Yeah,
parking lot. You can.
but let me show you the video here.
Mhm.
Let me just trying
So if you
Like-
have a twin engine helicopter and one engine goes out, you're still good.
No, you should be fine. Like it sort of depends. I mean, so it depends on what your your
Load and
gross
all
weight
that.
is and all that
Yeah.
stuff and altitude and all the performance considerations. But yeah, like more or less, like is you'll still be able to maintain altitude at like most situations, like probably routine flights and stuff like that on a single engine.
Mhm.
So, or at least I think we've probably pulled one engine back to idle. I think in training too, just to like as a demonstration. So, it's not if I remember that correctly or not. I can't remember.
I'm gonna share this, and you tell me if this is too low or not.
Honestly, if you're not hitting something, you're high enough. You know, like.
Yeah,
That doesn't seem terribly risky to me at
yeah.
all.
Well, they're done an investigation because their flight plan called them to be at 1,000 feet.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, but flight plan, schmight plan, that really doesn't mean anything. And besides, if they would never.
You don't have to fly your specific
Yeah.
altitude. Plus, it's not like I don't know if they might have had like to get a special permit or something like that to make that flight, but
They did.
yeah. So maybe it's spelled out for that in the actual permit to maintain a certain altitude for that particular flight, but.
Yeah, they were supposed to maintain a 1,000 foot, 1,000 feet height and a horizontal radius of 2,000 feet.
Yeah, well, I mean, so I guess they should have probably followed what they were supposed to be doing in accordance with what they had gotten approved for if it was a special permit type flight. So,
it was a special permit from the FAA.
Yeah,
So because I went to a Gators game and they did a flyover very similar to that.
Yeah, generally speaking, there really isn't a lot of this altitude requirements whatsoever. So, like when you're cruising around in general airspace and even in controlled airspace, like for helicopters, the rules are different. Just because you have to necessarily provide for that persons and property avoidance stuff so much, just because you have so much landing availability in a helicopter. So,
so you just think it's because
it's just
because there's a Karen involved.
It's just because that there was a if they had an agreed upon flight plan like that was like specifically designated as like a special purpose flight or whatever with the FAA, then it makes sense that they would get in trouble for that. But as far as like a day-to-day fly a helicopter around, like that's not unusual at all.
Well, I know they're being investigated by the FAA and the Army for violating.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not going to amount to a whole lot. So I think some spectator fan just got their, they're like, oh my God, we're so close to an Army helicopter. I'm so scared now. I'm emotionally traumatized and I need my emotional support poodle or something. And those are the kind of people that we're dealing with. That's why. So.
Yeah, you're probably right. I just thought that was kind of interesting how they're being investigated and everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's always painful. Like whenever you're flying a military aircraft, like you're always subject to being able to, you're subject to all the FAA penalties, and then also you're subject to all the military penalties. So like,
Yeah,
if you break a rule that crosses over both of them, then you're subject to the penalties of both as well. So, and the same is true for legal consequences for stuff, just like in general too. So,
Ouch.
yeah, it sucks. So
you know what was funny? All right, so I've had two off-field landings. I've had two incidents, and everybody in aviation, from when you start to learn to fly, they always tell you about the FAA boogeyman and how they're going to get you. And more experienced people. Do you know Robert Harris?
sounds
From the
familiar.
Cozy Jet?
Out of Tennessee.
Yeah, correct, Covington.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Robert was the only one that knew what the hell he was talking about. He talks a little bit of a southern drawl. He says, "Richard, they ain't gonna do nothing." And it's such a load of horse hockey that all the crap all of the people in aviation, and it's like 100% universal. Every pilot tells you the FAA is going to get you, and they have zero experience with that or knowledge of it.
Yeah,
well, you would know since you landed a plane on a freaking road and rear-ended a car.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that, right?
No. Didn't even get a parking ticket,
Yeah, like whose jurisdiction does it fall under? The highway patrol
I
or
probably
the
could have got a
FAA?
speeding ticket because my landing speed with the canopy was pretty high.
Yeah, you're breaking up again, man.
We need to start a GoFundMe
For
page
Rich's
for
internet.
Yeah, for Rich's internet.
Ooh,
And do a kick. Yeah.
What are you on? Are you on AOL dial-up?
Yeah.
No.
Holiday drive for Rich's internet, bro.
I've got the tin
CompuServe.
can set up.
Prodigy.
I don't know. I could reboot my router and come back in.
2600 baud.
So what's you guys' schedule like for the rest of the day? What do you do? What's normal? What's the rest of the day looking like? You got a pretty big operation with the that's a great shirt too, by the way, with the whole.
I know.
Yeah. I wore mine the other day just like that, and you guys get some funny reactions when you're talking to people.
I work to my kid's school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Alan Powell says it's because you use a gateway PC.
Ooh. What was the free PC that never happened?
The free PC that never happened.
Or $100 PC. Wasn't Walmart going to do a $100 PC?
The free PC that never happened. It was I remember something about that. Oh, well, what was that?
So Mr. Snow asked if we're describing the FAA or ATF. I would say yes. Because the interesting thing with the FAA is you can build your own airplane, and they call it the 51% rule, but there's no such thing. There's no regulation that says you have to build 49%, 51%. And with the ATF, we're building 80% lowers, but there's no such rule with the ATF that it has to be 80% as opposed to 79 or 81.
Two cows just shut down.
There definitely is a rule for the 51% rule in there for that for the to get the experimental repairman certificate.
Well, it says major portions. It doesn't say 51%.
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's just an interpretation, I guess, of the
right.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, and they did go a little further because there was all the builder assist programs. So
Right.
You could do the builder assist program, but you wouldn't get the repairman certificate.
There's a lot of people that did. Like when I worked at. Do you know that I worked at Epic back in
Oh, okay.
04, 05? And
Oh, I had no idea. I got a ride in Epic a couple years back.
it's awesome. I love that plane. But anyways, that's where I started. That was my first airplane building job, I guess, if you would. So first exposure to composites, and then doing some back shop engineering stuff for them. But yeah, no. So they'd have like their rich Lancer buddies that were upgrading to one of these turboprops, and they'd bring them in there and hand them a tool or something, or a glove or whatever, and have them lean over the fuselage and like pretend to put epoxy on it or something, and it'll like take a few pictures and then like send him on his way, and then that's like the all the proof that the FAA needs to go ahead and sign these guys off on their $1.2 million planes and stuff. So kind of funny.
So the Epic, you got to tell about the Epic. That's a very cool aircraft.
It's awesome. So yeah, I think it's definitely one of the fastest turboprops that are currently made, and really efficient. I think it's got a Pratt and Whitney PT6 is in that airplane, I believe. And there's probably a couple of other options by now, but yeah, it's like a 450 knot turboprop airplane, which is like faster than most light jets. So, and it has like a pretty big, like a long legs is what we call it. So it goes a long way on a tank of gas. And
but the short field capability on that plane is really good too, right?
It's insanity. Like we were flying out at like 6,000 feet a minute with like 5 of us in there. You know what I mean? Like it's like just blasting out.
Okay, and so most airplanes. So I actually went to Oshkosh to Buddy's Eclipse, and the Eclipse is a quote-unquote 6-seater, but it would only fit 4 people my size if you had a small backpack and not full fuel. Where the Epic is like 6 200-pound guys with luggage and full fuel.
Yep. Yeah. It hauls a lot of crap. It's pretty much it's my favorite plane. If I could have one plane like to just do everything I needed to do and that's it, like it'd be that plane. Like I love that plane. It's perfect. Like if for you plus 4 people ever need to go anywhere for any reason, it's that plane. So Diesel Brothers bought one, assholes.
But that's like, what's the short field takeoff runway length you need for that?
I don't really hate them. What's that?
Short field takeoff runway length?
Oh, I don't remember. I don't recall the performance numbers. That was more of the, let's put like engine baffling together and install throttle quadrants.
Oh, okay. Because I'm pretty sure we're in and out in less than 1,600 feet. It was shocking how little distance it took.
Yeah. It's all the torque out of that motor. So I mean, it's just like I think it's like 425. So I think they got 425 horsepower or more. It might be or 1425. I think 1425.
Right. Mm-hmm. All right, Here we go. M. Gabriel has questions about the Smith & Wesson thing. The ATF was targeting Smith & Wesson. We're going to go there and inspect, and that apparently happened. And no violations because for somehow, I guess Smith & Wesson knew that it was coming. No idea why.
I haven't heard anything about this.
Yeah. Yeah, back. They were gonna put all these people to go through with a fine tooth comb through Smith and Wesson. I found out about it, so I wrote an article saying, "Hey, Smith and Wesson, you better be careful. They're coming after you."
What are they bothering Smith and Wesson about right now?
Just trying to find something that they violated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the ATF. It's what they do.
I guess. I don't know.
So I reached out to the ATF. I think I told you about this, Rich, right? And how I was going back and forth, and I figure, and let me just bring this up here. I'll show you who they refer me to. No. Oh yes, my kid's replacement.
This isn't about your suppressors, is it?
No. Whatever. I mean, they're dumb. Let's see here. Request for comment.
And Ben, while John's doing that, we didn't really introduce you well. So Tier 1 Kinetics, what do you do? What is your company? And I think you're working on a website. You don't have a website up yet? What do you got?
Yeah, so Ben, I own the Tier 1 Kinetics brand, and essentially we're just kind of specializing in providing a service and an alternative to the Brownells and Optics Planet of the world right now. And so there's a pretty wide array of offerings, from everything from Glock pistols to CZ stuff to there's an array of SIG products and all kinds of guns, ammo, reloading supplies, optics, sights, magazines, slings, whatever. So I'm still learning exactly what's all on it, because there's like 100,000 plus like items on it. So yeah, so we're kind of like driving some marketing efforts right now to figure out what email lists to get on, to basically kind of let the world know that we're up and operational and exist and what we're doing here.
So the site's up right now?
We do training too.
The site's up right now?
Yeah, so it's for the sake of the show, no. So it's getting a final facelift and overhaul, essentially, to make the user experience a lot better. So like we're modernizing it to where it's not going to look so, I don't know, plain, I guess, or amateurish. So I have a guy that's been working on it now for a little bit, and we got some pretty good ideas going last night. So I'm hoping for something like semi-finalized either today or tomorrow.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and like I just verified with all my guys that ran all the internals, so to get all the electronics to talk to each other, that stuff all got validated earlier today. So that was one of the today accomplishments. And just working with the IT tech guys and on two ends of this.
Yeah, don't ask Dark. He'll probably try to get a affiliate code from you if he's out there.
Yeah. So we don't have that all figured out yet. So that's another thing. So like if we need, like getting brand ambos and like discount codes and that kind of thing, and pro deals and military programs. So like there's all that stuff that's like available too. But like I just got to approach this on a case by case basis, and basically kind of we're not going to have that 100% solution like to push out anytime real soon, but like we need to like push out the 75% solution like right now or soon, so that way we can prove the system and all that and make adjustments.
Yeah, our friend Dark, who runs the After Dark, he's all about affiliate codes, so he's giving him a hard time.
Well,
okay. Yeah.
So as a YouTuber, and like I'm super small potatoes, and so is Dark. We don't make any money on YouTube. We make very little monthly amount. Probably $1 an hour for our efforts. But if you get, well, yeah, but still, I mean, look at all the effort I put in.
We broadcast to your channel, so therefore, what the hell? I just realized that we're broadcasting to your channel, and I'm paying you.
Yeah. You got to pay to have friends.
Damn it. Okay.
So, one good way is with affiliate links, that you promote a product and you get some percentage. So that's always a good thing for us.
Nice. Yeah. No, I need all the advice I can get as far as like putting all that stuff together. But yeah, I was sort of working with Jim Jones in town, and then also Tricom training.
Just don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Huh? What's that?
Just don't drink the Kool-Aid, because
okay.
Jim Jones. You know that was
I didn't
right.
know that they had a Kool-Aid. I'll have to ask him about it.
No. Do you know who Jim Jones is?
It's GYM. So.
Okay, so it's not JIM.
No,
if it was JIM Jones, then you probably shouldn't.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about physical training. So, and then the Tricom is a close quarter battle subject matter expert that's been teaching combatives for like 37 years or something like that. So, and then they got a host of options in the tactical and self-defense world. So they both have pretty large followings that are brand loyal and whatnot, and good people to represent and be represented by. So I'm kind of looking forward to how that relationship matures over time. So
Yeah, you're really
so
jumping into this.
Hmm?
You're really jumping into this.
Yeah. So they're talking about putting up a new facility anyway that's like similar size to Fieldcraft Survival headquarters, a secondary training facility here in Salt Lake City. And so depending on the size and stuff, we'll be able to use some of it for like indoor training and small classes and that kind of thing. So sort of being able to get our own space. And I don't know if I'm still kind of like looking around to see if I can put the FFL somewhere else too. So like I'm kind of getting tired of it's complicated having a home base FFL. So
for sure.
So I'm getting I'm looking forward to getting that out of this address, so that way if I need to or want to move for whatever reason, I can do that. You know what I mean? So it's getting to be like, it's not painful or anything, but it's just like one of the things that I'm looking forward to, like as we kind of like progress and grow here, is like being able to transition this more centralized into like a company that's sort of managed like a normal company, not like something that I constantly wake up to every single day when I open my eyes in the morning. So, or at least less of that.
I'm getting ready to launch another company.
Are you? What's that?
Yeah, can't say yet.
Okay, cool.
We haven't filed the paperwork yet.
Is that why you reserved the domain 4 Doors More Horse?
I did not reserve that domain. I haven't ever reserved the domain yet. I should probably do that.
Yeah, that definitely screws up your plan. Like when I was doing naming stuff, it was like I couldn't figure. I had to pick something that was definitely one of the problems. Like, or one of the challenges was to pick a name that you could also associate a .com to that wasn't already something else.
Yeah,
it's hard. So.
Oh hell yeah! And then you have the squatters out there that just buy something, like me. Like I bought chainsawbayonet.com.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Me and my business partner, Light Savis, are still working on names.
Yeah, buying domain names back a while ago would have been super fun and smart.
Well, like back, coming from Long Island, somebody in New York was a New York Yankees fan, and they bought like NewYorkYankees.com, and they just got a nasty letter from the Yankees lawyer and handed them the domain. Where now that'd be like a $1-2 million transaction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When the Redskins were changing their name, now they're called the Washington Football Team. They put out a list of all the names that they were considering.
No,
but then, dude,
they didn't own the domains.
They didn't own the trademarks. So some dude in Alexandria, Virginia, went and trademarked every one of their names.
Hell yeah!
So now that's why they called the Washington Football Team, and they don't have a name because they released a name of 20. And like, which name would you like to do? And some guy's like, all mine now.
Which name would you like to trademark?
So the dude was like a trademark lawyer, and he just like trademarked every name.
That's brilliant, as far as I'm concerned.
He didn't get any money for it. I did know the guy that I used to work with the guy back in the 90s who owned ChargeCard.com.
Ooh.
He sold that. I don't know. I guess it's a squatter has it now. So yeah. Yeah, I just went there.
So Ben, right now you're doing more.
Which I'm not going to type in because.
Ben, are you doing more aviation or 2A activities right now?
Well, 100%. Just focusing on the gun company. I have been since basically like January. So almost a full year of no working for anybody else other than myself. So, yeah, it's come a long ways. That's for sure. but yeah, just about ready to make a pretty decent size pivot here, I think.
Oh wow.
With our marketing effort and the website about ready to get relaunched. So yeah, so looking forward to turning over the new year and stuff and getting this going. Hopefully, like capitalizing on the last month of December and a bunch and the 20 million people that bought new guns last year all now need holsters and mags and accessories and lights and lasers and all kinds of stuff that they need to go with it. So
Yeah,
so
yeah. I kind of thought, I don't want to say we're friends, but we're kind of like internet friends. And I've been following you on Instagram and busting your chops. I'm like, oh, you sold your truck, you sold your airplane. What's going on, man? And then you're like, oh, I got a company in the works.
Yeah, well, I mean, so yeah, exactly. So like all the work that went into the plane was done, and then like I just wasn't flying it enough to justify like the $500 a month hangar fee that I was paying. In addition to all the other normal maintenance stuff, oil changes, and then operational expenses on top of it, I was just like,
Dude, that plane's maintenance free. What are you talking about?
I mean, is it though, Rich? I mean, I like once you get in. I mean, okay, well now you need a new game. Like I just put in a new S transponder unit. There's like
Okay.
$3,500 in avionics parts right there. Like I did like a main landing gear upgrade where you upgrade the wheels and axles and brakes and steel braided lines and and then so like once you're like really like actually really maintaining airplanes and like getting the most out of them and making safety improvements and that kind of thing, like that it's just never ending. And plus on top of that, I didn't want to spend the time on it. Like I didn't want to be a slave to an airplane. Like if I want to go fly somewhere, I'll buy a fucking $180 round trip ticket and go there. You know what I mean? Like and not have to deal with $500 a month of crap to sit in a box.
Yeah,
So,
it's funny. I would fly from Palm Beach to Monroe, Louisiana. It'd be like a 5-hour flight. And I would write down, I got the autopilot on. I'd write down a list of everything I got to do. I'm like, all right, because I got to do this. I need to do that. I need to switch this out, upgrade that. It's coming on time to swap out like the vacuum pump and all of these things. I'm like, you're right. It is a never-ending list.
And then re-grease bearings, like flat tires go out, need to get changed. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just especially if you're using them a lot. I mean, it's that, and it's like if I had somewhere to be, like where I could keep and the other thing is the plane is like an hour away, and where I live right now, there's a airport that's 5 minutes down the road that's perfect, but there's only 6 like small hangars at it, and everybody's gonna die in there. So like no hangars are gonna get built there either. I went down this rabbit hole with the feds and the county to try and figure out whether they're gonna build more hangars or not.
Anyways, I've been there, done that.
So I sold it to my old helicopter flight instructor, and it's out in Minnesota getting flown now. It's fine. And then with the truck, it kind of like the idea originally when I got it was like I was just got it as a hobby project as I was transitioning out of the Army and trying to figure out what I wanted to do next with my life. And then I spent a couple of years doing that, and then the overseas contract work, and it got to a point where it was done and driving, but like there's a bunch of like little things that needed to be done to like finish it. And I just like, again, like it was just another one of those things that was costing time and money. And I was like, I am done spending time and money on fixing shit. Like I need to, like, I'm done fixing mechanical things. Like I'll pay someone else to do it. Like I need to build this huge, I need to build a structure so that people can operate and like actually have a career advanced opportunity and like actually make money at this business rather than spend a whole lot of time and effort like trying to fix some fucking machine that just doesn't want to cooperate, and regardless of,
I hear you.
I get like I get the idea that it's nice to have the rewards of being able to understand mechanical things and how they interact with each other and like to have the tools and ability to be able to do it, but actually physically doing it when you've got other things to do is just like kind of a pain. And so it's, I don't know, man, like, I spent, better part of, 12 years working on the airplane and then 5 years working on the truck. And both of those things turned out okay. And I think I can spend like the same amount of effort like into building this business up, and I'm guessing like the end result is probably going to be similar. It's going to be something
Gotcha.
that's sharp and looks good and operates right now. With there's always going to be something that needs to get worked on, but I mean it'll work well. So. And I'm fortunate that I know enough people to kind of help give me some guidance in the right direction and all of this stuff. So
My old boss used to fly a plane to work every day. He worked like an hour away.
yeah.
So
Hour by car or hour by plane?
not I'm like well, he lived like 100 miles. He flew to Menlo Park every day from Sacramento or whatever.
Nice. Yeah, that's
so he had a couple different planes. He had well, what type of plane did he have?
You're asking me?
Yeah, the one I showed you.
I don't recall. I think you talked to me about it. I don't. But so the lie about aviation is, between mechanical issues, weather issues. Yeah, in a perfect scenario, you can get there 10 hours ahead of driving, but there's a lot that has to go right for that.
Well, this is one of the planes he has.
Okay, so that's a V-tail Bonanza,
Okay.
otherwise known as the Dr. Lawyer Killer.
the Dr. Killer. Yeah.
Why do they call it the Dr. Killer?
Because what'll happen is you'll get your pilot's license and you're cocky as a doctor or a lawyer, and you think you can handle that, and you can't. And the concept of aviation is you need to be ahead of the airplane. And most of the time, I'm usually 30 minutes to an hour ahead of the airplane. And the faster and the more high performance the airplane, the harder it is to be ahead of the airplane.
Right.
And when I say ahead of the airplane, meaning what your next turn is going to be. When you're going to hit the fuel valve next to select the next tank. What frequency you're going to be tuning in, or the next 3 or 4 frequencies you're going to be tuning in. You're already got the communication, the verbiage worked out in your head, who you're going to contact, what you're going to request, those kinds of things. Or if you're coming in for a landing, you get your pre-landing checklist out and you're ready to go through it. And you're in the landing configuration, you got the full tank selected, you got your mixture rich, carb heat on, those kinds of things going.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's his slower of his 2 planes.
Aha. Yeah, and the Bonanza, I actually don't have a complex or retractable rating, although I've got 600 hours in a cozy, which is retractable. Actually, it's an endorsement, not a rating. But the Bonanza is both retractable and complex. You have a constant speed propeller, you have cowl flaps, you have wing flaps. So it is a little more difficult airplane to fly.
I'm trying to
It's
find
fun.
other planes.
It's constant speed prop. I've flown one of those a little bit. It's easy. It's a nice easy plane. It cruises like a cozy does. So, but it's got a bigger motor. So it's got a lot of cabin space in there too. It's a nice little plane.
Oh yeah,
kind of like a Cadillac.
His other plane doesn't have any cabin space. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, usually if you're seeing an increase in cabin space or seeing a decrease in performance numbers, like as far as like how fast it'll go or efficient. So.
Let me see. I'm sending it to him. I think this is it.
Profile drag, I think is what they call that.
It's called a T-38. Yeah, so that one I think is a little bit. I think it's a T-38.
So it's a 2-seat trainer. Air Force plane.
Yeah. You bought it surplus or something.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
That's got to be a monster to maintain.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has to wear I guess mask or whatever. When he flies it.
Yeah, I don't. So above 12,500 feet for 30 minutes, you got to wear like an oxygen cannula. And I forget the next step, but you have to wear a mask where it's actually pressurizing the air into you.
Yeah, 'cause he's taking like picture like he's taking selfies where he's wearing like this. He looks like one of the Russian pilots out of Top Gun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, aviation is just like the gun industry. I mean, like a lot of people go put on their full kit and take pictures of being LARPers in the backyard too, and it's cool. Like, I
Nah,
mean, people do it. It's fine. I'm not
nah,
hating
he
on the
actually
LARPing
has
class. Like I LARP too sometimes. It's fine.
he has
So
a side business where he takes pictures of other planes from the
Oh,
air.
that's cool. Then you get
So
to write off your T-38.
no, I think the T-38. He hardly ever takes it up though.
mm.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I would.
I
The
knew a guy.
info.
He had a P-51, and he said for every hour he flew it, he spent 4 hours maintaining it. Which that's just a hell of a deficit of workload.
Man, if you buy a $2 million airplane, you gotta not really give a crap about how much maintenance goes into it because it's
Right, right. Well, he was doing it all himself. He was a machinist and just loved working on the airplane.
Yeah.
that's still pretty. That's pretty remarkable.
I will tell you. I will tell you. Okay, this is gonna start a lot of damn rumors. He now is like an executive at Amazon.
So Ben doesn't know. There's rumors around the internet that John was an early investor in Amazon,
Oh, nice.
and then there's also rumors that John lives in a mom's basement.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, I guess Rich is going to find out soon and then expose you on Project Veritas.
Veritas, yes.
Yeah, Veritas. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Veritas.
No. I worked for him at I worked for him at Facebook.
Wow. So he made that much money at Facebook, he could have all sorts of cool toys.
I don't know. He's into guns though.
That's cool. So Ben, your experience, how many people in the aviation community are also gun people?
Most of them.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
It's kind of like
it just takes that personality. You have to have the take responsibility for yourself and all the people that you're traveling with or whatever. Like, I mean, it's just sort of the same thing. So you got to have that sense of individuality, I guess, or being able to make decisions under stress and pressure and stuff like that. And there's a high degree of independence. So I suppose that's like all those kind of character traits are synonymous, I think, across the two industries. So
oh hell yeah, yeah.
yeah. So and then also like there's the seeking of perfection or excellence, like whether it's like ballistics and aerodynamics are all in play. The weather is also a consideration, or the environmental factors, and then you have psychological stuff and stressors and how people deal with that in both aviation and shooting. So like it's just sort of depends on, and then there's so many different rabbit holes to go down, on both. It's just an adventure and experience and learning process. So try to keep it like nice and light and open for most people to enter into, that have little to no experience and, feel safe and confident using firearms because, it's just unfortunate that there's just so much ignorance out there. There's so many Alec Baldwins in the world. So,
ouch.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No, this dude's cool. It was really funny. When I first started working at Facebook, he emailed me or messaged me and was like, "Hey, I've seen." He goes, I read a lot of your stuff," and I'm like, "I'm working for Facebook," and I'm like, "Oh crap!" Like, "Oh, I'm gonna go clean out my desk."
I hear you.
I was like, "You did, huh?" He was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I'm into guns too." I was like, "But you live in Silicon Valley, or you work in Silicon Valley?" And he wrote me back and said, "I wasn't always from California." So he keeps all his guns in Arizona or something like that.
Yeah. It's overwhelming, actually, like the amount of people that I know that live in California that are like definitely not Biden supporters. So it's pretty amazing, actually, because it's unusual. I mean, it's weird. I know there's a lot of mask mandate supporting people that would love to have a socialist nation where everybody gets coddled all the way from birth to death, but not reality.
But you got to realize, all of your liberal states like California, New York, even Minnesota is kind of a mixed bag of nuts. Because most of Minnesota is farmland, and then you have Minneapolis.
Mhm.
So it's really
Same
a
true.
few counties in a state that make it a liberal lunatic heaven. And when you look at California, if you look at the square miles of California that are conservative, if you go by miles, it's a conservative state. But then you have, LA, Sacramento, and all of those counties that they're in that are just nut job liberal, and they have the high density of population.
Well,
I
look
just
at
have
Long
not
Island.
understood that mindset. I don't understand the mindset of like being in these high density populations or whatever, and just having this whole like ignorant idea of how society actually is, outside of their little bubble that they live in with all their other like-minded people, so like they don't ever get experience or like don't ever get exposed to any of the self-reliance stuff, I think. And so it's just like kind of unfortunate that more people don't get out. But honestly, like that's one of the things that our company's trying to help out with too, is to provide like these outdoors experiences for people kind of like that, where they're a little unsure about the whole thing. They've grown up in a city life. They don't know anything different. They want to be with somebody that's not going to be a total asshole to them, to expose them to like some new stuff like shooting, which could be inherently dangerous if you're not doing it right. Or it could be like going for a helicopter ride, or like going for like one of these backcountry experiences where you can like take a helicopter in, go shoot for a day or two, camp, and then kind of egress your way out of there. So we're talking about putting together some adventure packages or experience packages in addition to the baseline website with all the firearms and accessories in addition, and merch and stuff like that. But so yeah, it's not all bad, man. I can't blame all of them for just, I guess, living that way, because they don't know any better.
They don't
Like
know any different, right?
yeah, you know.
Well, what I find interesting is a couple of things that have happened. So we have the pandemic, we had the riots, then we had mass numbers of people purchasing firearms and ammo. In I don't know how many people had a D next to their name or an R next to their name that were buying guns, but we may have many more Second Amendment supporters across the spectrum.
Yeah, for sure. But still, it's you know, yeah. I guess we'll find out. So there's two different types of people. There's people on the muzzle side of the gun, and there's the people on the trigger side of the gun, and it's never a good thing to be on the muzzle side. So um, there's really only one way for sure you can guarantee yourself that you can be in that position, and that's to actually utilize your constitutional right to keep and bear arms. So that's kind of where I'm at on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've seen it all over the world. I've seen governments getting taken over. I've seen massive protests go ultra violent, and people get tear gas canisters like stuck in their skull. Like I've seen civilians get shot by uniformed military police officers in foreign countries. So it's like I've seen this shit in real time, like recently. So it's the reality for me is like, hey, guess what? Like this could actually happen, and it does happen a lot. It's just not so common here at the moment. So, and a lot of the people that I know and respect in the industry, especially around here, like Mike Glover, there's a few others, that are like heavily focused into this preparedness program, essentially to introduce a lot of civilians into just good like situational awareness type stuff to kind of like help people understand how to deal with stress, whatever that might be. It could be like a natural disaster, it could be like a actual problem of violence where like you're in a victim situation, or what to do and how to decide whether or not to be of any assistance, because sometimes if you enter into a bad situation, you become more of a liability than you do a help. So there's definitely times where you probably shouldn't help either, but that's a way long tangent. I didn't mean to carry on that long.
Yeah, sorry. It's a perfect place to end. So, Rich, where can people find you?
No, anywhere where I have internet access. So flyingrich.com, youtube.com/flyingrich,
Ha,
and
you never
Instagram.
learn.
What'd you
I'm
do?
just joking.
Or Instagram, I am flyingrich_official.
See, I didn't cut you off there and dump you out, Rich.
Okay,
I'm over that now.
I doubt it.
I am. All right, Ben.
Yeah.
Tell everyone where they can find you in your helicopter flying adventures.
Yeah, right. The personal page is at Easy Pilot, and then if you want to go to the professional one, it's at Tier 1, the number 1 Kinetics, and the store is store.tier1kinetics.com. So it's all coming together someday.
Yeah, definitely keep us up to date on what we're going to play. We'll definitely pimp your site.
I appreciate that. That's awesome. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It's nice to be on again and show up on time and actually everything for you.
That works for me. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back next week. Who do we have, Rich?
Next week, I got to know what's going on next week. We have Caleb von, or wait, it's Baron von Savant. So Caleb from Brownells is going to be on Monday. And that's all I remember at this point.
Okay, that works. Rich doesn't know. Probably haven't booked anyone. You're fine.
No, I got him booked.
Hey, Ben, you want a job?
Ooh. Actually,
joking.
2 days Christian Grest.
Oh, Christian Grest. Okay, cool.
And I'm trying to pin down Cyclops for Wednesday or Thursday.
Oh, that works for me, man. That works for me. All right, guys. We will see you later. And as always, remember, Wolverine.
Cool. Sounds good.